Hi, and welcome into Real Conversations. I am Thomas Manning here with the Real to Real International Film Festival. I am so thankful to have Mr. Rafael Duarte here along with us. He is the director of Beyond Dreams, a phenomenal Everest expedition documentary. And we are just so thankful for this segment here to have Rafael along with us to discuss some of his experiences with Beyond Dreams. And I think first off, we're just going to talk about your background in filmmaking, what has led you to where you are right now. I know that's a bit of a broad discussion point, but you can talk about as much or as little as you want to. But just what first grabbed your interest and has kind of led to some of the stepping stones to where you are right now.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of the festival. Really glad about it. Well, I started my career as a journalist, and then naturally I became a photographer. And I always had this dream of putting those two things together, like uh, moving pictures with documentary, real stories about real people, about real life. And then after like a bunch of years, 8 years of a journalistic career, I started to do a master's in cinema. And then that's when I realized that I wanted to do documentary filmmaking. So then I put together a production company to start doing documentaries. And naturally, I brought the subject I was dealing with in my photographic career, in my journalistic career, which were had a lot to do a lot with the environment, about adventures, about the relation between man and nature, about civilizations and their environments, and all that. So basically, I've been having like this since 2000. Let's say my first film I released in 15 about a movie I did in 13. So pretty much 7 years of career. It's kind of small so far, 7 years, but I've released seven films in this period. Different lengths, different subjects, but mostly about people and about the environment.
So it definitely looks like this was probably your most ambitious film project thus far. I could be wrong on that, but just judging from some of your other projects, this looks like what 75 minutes long, probably your longest in length, probably your biggest in scope, and just the story that you were aiming to capture. So how daunting was it for you to make sure that you were going to capture everything that you wanted to over the course of this documentary?
Well, there are for sure. You're right. This is like the film that has marked the most my career. Like it's my first long length film. It's my most, let's say, successful film as well. As far as festivals and awards go, we've been. Uh, I think you were the. This is the 21st festival we're being part of, and we were awarded and we got 6 awards so far, and I'm really proud of it. And in a document, like in a cinematography point of view, that was also really challenging, just because I had like different ways to tell the story. So first of all, the story is amazing. It's about a person I know personally, like for a few years. He was a friend of mine, the main character, that had been through so many challenging and difficult situations in his life, situations that most of the people would just not keep on going, keep on risking themselves. So basically the film talks about it. So, talks about what are you willing to risk, and are you, when you decide to risk on something, what are the stakes? What are you putting on the table? So it's about passion. It's about the love for the mountains, but it's also about uh, what you're willing to risk to follow your dreams, and what experiences and what you learn from it, and how do you change your life and how do you change your family's life. So the film is pretty much about it, and we had different ways to tell this story. First thing is that like the main character, which is a professional high mountain climber, he had been climbing for his whole life. So first we had footage from his past expeditions before I even knew him, different qualities, different types of cameras. So that's one thing. And once I decided to join him in his Everest expedition, well, I'm a mountaineer myself. I climb mountains as well, but I'm not in that Everest level yet. And I don't even know if I want to get there because that's really personal. But most importantly for the audience to know, like, only to reach the base camp is already something can be really challenging. Of course, if you train, if you go there, it's already challenging, but a normal person can do it. I did it. But what was specifically challenging for me is to be there for a whole month, living inside of a tent for a whole month without basically leaving the base camp in really extreme conditions, and over a moving glacier with the chore to film and to document every day. And that was one aspect. A second one, which I think it's really curious and important to say here and to share with this audience, you're gonna see, like, this is the poster of the film, and people are gonna see those beautiful images from above 500 meters. And you should know that the professional person that did it was the mountain Sherpa, which was which is the main character, Roman Romancini. His partner in climbing was Padawa Sherpa. He's a mountain climber. He had climbed Everest for almost a record of times. That's in the movie as well. And he had never touched the professional camera before, but we were going to be together for over a month. So when we decided, we asked him, instead of bringing the what are the oxygen cylinders up the mountain at the last days, how about if we teach you something new for your career as a mountain guy? And instead of carrying the cylinders, what if you carried a lighter thing, which is a camera, and if you did footage of them, if you just do whatever you want to do and just film it. So the cool thing was that I had the opportunity to train him for a month before, during the acclimatization period, all the rotations. And then when he was finally ready to tackle the summit on the final rotation, he was the one who did the footage of the character. So that story is something really remarkable, because I'm really proud of Padawa Sherpa, which is an amazing character, an amazing friend, amazing person, and he did an amazing work in a cinematographer kind of way as well. So I'd like to share that with the audience. So above 5,500 meters, that was his work, and I'm really proud of him.
Oh yeah, that is definitely something I had written down in my notes. I was wondering how you had captured everything, how the documentary crew had captured everything. I didn't know if you were up there with them the entire time or if you had some assistance. So it looks like that kind of answers that question. So that is a phenomenal piece of information. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, that was the team was only me and Roman, because he was the character, but he was also
right.
the team. And then once we got to Namche Bazaar, Padawa joined as part of the team as well. But at that point, he didn't know really how to document anything. But I had the opportunity to teach him for a month. So photography concepts, but also storytelling and security, and what would be the crucial moments he would be needed, and of course, if he could, because above 7,000 meters, that filming is not a priority anymore. It's surviving. Because and even if I was there, I had trained to be there, I wouldn't be as comfortable as he was, because he had been there for 20 times and he knew how that was. And he was, I would be there like struggling to survive, and even to film would be so difficult. And as it is for the other few professionals that do that job in the world, but him as a Sherpa, with his body, with his knowledge of the mountain, I told him, only touch the camera if you feel comfortable, and he did in such crucial moments. So yeah, we did a lot of equipment carrying. I did a lot of equipment carrying. Like during the trek, my bag weighed like 18 kilos. But yeah, was worth it.
Yeah, well, there were just some absolutely breathtaking shots that were captured, and just thank you for your part in capturing the beauty of Everest and the just beauty of the climb in general.
I
Um,
was lucky enough as well, just to add a little something. I was lucky enough to have in the expedition another filmmaker, which was doing another work for another climber, and I had the opportunity to get some of his footage as well, as he collaborated like with this work. So his name is Robert Hollingworth. He's from England, and thank you, Rob. Your footage was great as well. He was some amazing time lapses.
wow. Oh yeah, I think there was one specific time lapse where it was almost hard for me to believe that it was like a photograph and wasn't visual effects or anything, but there were you could see
With the
the
Milky Way, with the
yes,
Milky
yeah,
Way.
yeah. Was that
Yeah, that
completely
was his.
authentic?
That was his.
Yeah, that is yeah, that absolutely blew me away. That was incredible.
Yeah, blew me away as well.
Yeah,
Then I told, hey Rob, can you share that with me? It's gonna be amazing for the movie. And
yeah,
then so yeah, he was really kind. He was like a collaborator for the film, and of course his footage also made the film even more interesting, so people would have a little bit of the glimpse of why people do that, why
yeah,
people risk themselves. It's
yeah,
to be there on that place to see that kind of stuff.
yeah. Well, it was definitely wonderful. So focusing a little bit more on the story itself and Roman Romancini, I think for anybody, one of the greatest challenges in their life would be climbing Mount Everest and all of his physical expeditions. But there's a lot more that he'd had to go through to get to that moment. Whether it was recovering from the terrible bike accident he was in, or overcoming cancer. So what was it like for you to make sure that you were telling his whole story and not just focusing on the challenge of Everest? Like, so how was it balancing the different struggles of his life in your storytelling approach?
Okay, so first of all, making a film about someone that recovers from cancer, and or making a film about someone that climbed Everest, that has been done a million times. That is so like not new. But the thing is, what motivated me to do this movie is that uh, Roman, when he decides, the way he acts, the way he sees his life, and the way he used the dream of climbing Everest to walk again, and then to recover after from cancer, and to make that as as a small part of his life, a small thing that he has to overcome, and then because after that it's going to be a brighter future, and to have that kindness to see the future. It's something that not a lot of people do that. So only a few people in the world are able to go through a really bad experience in some context, and not to see that context as a trauma. It's really difficult, and he does that, and he makes that difficult time into something that most motivates himself. He says, okay, I want to do that again because I'm capable, because I want to do that, and no one can stop me. No disease can stop me. No accident can stop me. No avalanche can stop me. Of course, it could eventually, but the thing is, he believes that he can do it. So that point is crucial for me. So when I told him I wanted to make a film about his life, he said, "Okay, I agree. Like, what? How do we start?" And then I told him, "Hey, Roman, but that's only one thing. I wouldn't want to make you as like this hero, because you are kind of are our hero, and people will know that already when they see the poster. They see a guy climbing. Okay, that guy's a hero. But the film is not about a hero. The film is about how a person has like the brightness to deal with such extreme and first, like some moments in life that are so frustrating, but this person has the ability to make that moment, make that difficult time into something, into a motive, into a motor, into a drive to be somewhere else in the future. Okay, so that's part of the story. Second part of the story is how that attitude impacts the people that love him. Because of course, if you have a kid and this kid falls while he's doing skateboarding, next time he goes like on a skateboard, you're gonna be, oh, be careful, oh, I don't want you to be hurt. So that's the same when someone goes through a severe bike accident or goes through cancer. Says people try to protect and say, hey, can you please take care of your life because you're really dear to us. And the film is about how he manages to explain his family how important the mountain and his dreams are for him, and at the same time to comfort his family and to let them know he's only doing what is responsible. He will not do anything irresponsible. And that also shows that mountaineering is not something for crazy people. It's not. Mountaineering is a sport for people who understand their limits and understand their tries to understand nature, because if it's something that we can, and how to balance those two things together. So that's a little bit of the magic behind the story of the film.
That is just so wonderful. And I think that is going to wrap up our interview here today with Mr. Rafael Duarte, once again with Beyond Dreams. He is the director, the writer, and the cinematographer. And this is probably one of the most incredible films we've had at the festival thus far. And Rafael, do you have any, is there any little more tidbit that you want to leave with the audience, whether it be about the film in general or some of your filmmaking journeys from here on out?
Well, I'll just appreciate all the audience that wants to check uh, Beyond Dreams at Real to Real Film Festival. Please. But I would just say that after seeing the film, people might get afraid of what they dream about, because they might want to reach it after that. Who knows? So yeah, I just want to thank you guys, and also thank all the crew, all the film crew, especially Roman, which is like, besides being a great friend, he was really kind to let me tell his story, and that's something I really appreciate. And I really hope the world knows a little bit about the drive that guides him, and maybe people can learn a bit with his life experience.
Well, I think they certainly will. There's no doubt that I did, and it inspired me, and it's just so phenomenal in so many ways. So, are you on social media anywhere? Is there somewhere that people can keep up with your work? Anywhere that you would send them?
Yeah, I think you can check at I think Instagram would be the coolest, so people can check also uh, some pictures and pieces from the film visually, and some in text as well. It's You can find me at Rafael Duarte Photography. That's in English, Rafael Duarte Photography. And also, I suggest you to follow Roman, which is at Roman Romancini. So you can also follow a little bit. He's especially because he's a normal guy. He's not like he doesn't do mountaineer for a living. He's a successful businessman. He has a regular life. He goes to work every day. He has a job. He does all that. So we can relate also to that.
Well, once again, thank you so much to Rafael Duarte for joining us here on Real Conversations. Be on the lookout for his film, Beyond Dreams. Until next time, I'm Thomas Manning on Real Conversations. Thank you for joining us.